Welcome to our channel. My name is Tracy and I'm the keeper of our home here at 4D Farms, where we're all about faith, family, home, and farm. Y'all come on in and see what we're all about, because we want our channel to encourage you and inspire you on your journey. If you see something that you like, please give it a thumbs up, hit that like button. That helps our channel grow and reach more people. If you want to subscribe, and if you think other people can benefit from our videos, please share them. Y'all, we hope to see you in each and every video, and most of all, thanks for watching. Welcome to today's video. I'm just going to be working on some sewing projects for granddaughters and for myself. And then me and granddaughters are going to just sit up in the living room and have a good old sewing project day. Just something different that I like to do with the grandkids, granddaughters. This kind of and I love teaching my granddaughters to sew. They see me getting out my sewing machines, especially when they were babies. I was making diaper covers, little pantylets, cute little baby girl outfits, burp cloths, you name it, I was making it. And of course, all the little lace that could come along with them. And even as babies, they would crawl over there and won't up in my lap and just sit there while I was sewing. So yeah, I've kind of sewn with babies sitting on my lap. Anything I am doing, my granddaughters just want to be a part of. And I'm like, well, how about let's just teach them? So I started teaching them how to sew. And I'm still teaching them. Sometimes I will just set up their sewing machines and just give them some scrap fabric and say, have at it. And y'all, they honestly come up with some of the neatest little creations. They have the idea in their head and they kind of understand how something needs to be constructed, but they still need to be instructed. And I love teaching my grandkids how to sew, my granddaughters. I even bought them a couple of years ago their own little sewing machines. They each have a table. I bought them sewing kits, everything that they would need so I could start teaching them. And I know you're wondering, well, what's this got to do with the Proverbs 31 woman? Well, let me tell you. There's a lot of verses that kind of pertains to the Proverbs 31 woman. Verse number 13. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. There's another verse. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. Verse 22. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Verse 24. She makes linen garments and sells them and supplies the merchants with sashes. That verse is also going to be intermingled in another subject when we get to it. All of these verses lets me know a lot of things about her. First and foremost, they're not modern day. They couldn't just get on the internet and purchase all their clothes and stuff from Amazon like we can today and all their necessities, okay? I grew up with my grandmother and my mother sewing. Now, my mama may not have enjoyed cooking, but I'm going to tell y'all something right now. My mother and my grandmother made sure we had clothes. And a lot of our clothes were sewn, handmade clothes. I remember in my grandmother's bedroom, a sewing machine. And y'all, I even remember the old sewing machines, the foot pedal. I mean, where you had to pump that thing. It wasn't electric. A pedal that you had to constantly mash to put the needle up and down. Oh, not like these modern machines like mine we have today, you see? And this one is even also an embroidery machine. And y'all, I remember scraps of fabric. I remember a specific piece of fabric that a dress and pantalettes were made for me that had little doggies and kitty cats on them. Y'all, this is things I can remember. I remember my great-grandparents. I had the opportunity of getting to know and meet and grow up visiting both sets of my great-grandparents. But my papa's parents, my great-grandparents, they loved to crochet. Crocheting was their thing. We had little booties, feet booties, to wear, around the house. And boy, we would get on the floor and we would just slide on the floor in those booties. We had, oh my gosh, blankets, scarves, hats. I don't know what all we had, but I can still visualize my great-grandparents sitting there crocheting, and they made everything for everybody. Even my great-grandpa was a crocheter. I love Afghans, crocheted blankets. And it's on my bucket list to learn how to crochet a sweater, a cardigan. I can do anything square. I've crocheted my own blanket, Afghan. I've crocheted blankets, baby blankets, pot holders, placemats, anything square I can do. But when you start getting into rounding and actually, creating a piece to attach to another piece, y'all, I am not that talented. It is on my bucket list, but I'm not there yet. But now I have just about taught myself how to sew. When I got into sewing, my husband got me a sewing machine and a serger. I grabbed my mama and I said, teach me, teach me. I want to learn. She taught me the basics of reading a pattern, learn how to sew, and then after that, I just took off with it. We have all the modern conveniences. Back in biblical times, y'all, they had to shear the sheep, wash the wool, dye the wool, spin it on the spindle. The Proverbs 31 passage talks about putting her hands to the spindle. Then they had to turn it into yarn and then use it. They also turned the cotton and things like that into fabric. If you've ever traveled to the Middle East, you will see how they do this, how they dye things, how they put things to fabric, how they weave each piece of thread or yarn into something beautiful. Beautiful. And then how she put something together. She cared enough about her family and her home to make sure they had clothes. And she sought out, I have no doubt, she sought out when she went to the markets the best for her family. It wasn't just something just to throw together. I'm sure she sought out beautiful fabrics. She matched fabrics to her kids and her husband's personalities, maybe their likes, their wants. And I'm pretty sure she was thrifty. Now, she did go to the markets and purchase some fabrics because it says she selects wool and flax. Okay? That lets me know she put a lot of thought into what she was looking for, the quality, how it was put together. Okay? But I'm pretty sure she had a hand in helping turn that cotton into fabric or that wool into yarn. I'm pretty sure. And she shopped thrifty. I like going to thrift stores, and I have been lucky enough at some thrift stores to find rolls of fabric, remnants of fabric, old sheets that I can turn into something, scraps that I can turn into something. What I'm making right there on my sewing machine, I went to Dollar Tree when they had the little rolls of fabric scraps. And y'all, I pieced those together and turned around and made a quilt panel and made 2 quilts for my granddaughters. I just took an old sheet, put a backing to it, put some binding around it, and they've got homemade quilts that they're using right now, loving, and they can put them in their hope chest that I'm also making for them. You can use anything as some kind of fabric to turn around and make something. And that's what the Proverbs 31 woman did. She searched for the best. She had a hand in from start to finish. I'm pretty sure she taught her children how to sew some garments, how to make sashes to tie around their robes, head coverings, bed coverings. She wanted to know that her family had the best. If you know anything about their beds, y'all, you can learn a lot from watching Little House on the Prairie. Oh my goodness, Mom sat there in her rocking chair and could put a shirt together and little girls' dresses together with just a needle and thread, no sewing machine. How in the world that happened, I do not know, but y'all, the pioneer women did it just like the Proverbs 31 woman did it. Then modern conveniences came along, like the spindle sewing machines. Then electric sewing machines. Somewhere, somehow along the line, we've lost an art of sewing. A lot of women don't do it anymore. A lot of women don't crochet. I guess I'm just in my granny era, and I wanted to learn how to do all that. The next thing I want to learn how to do is teach my granddaughters how to crochet. I do not understand the concept of knitting. Knitting is with 2 needles. Crochet is with 1. I'll just stick to 1. Don't confuse me with 2. I might learn it. I might not. My great-grandmother taught my grandmother how to crochet. And we sat there and I learned a little bit of how to crochet when I was like 7 or 8 years old. Now, y'all, you see that one granddaughter getting very frustrated? She does that. I was not going to be in a hurry to run over there and rescue her. I needed her to talk herself through it, slow down, be patient, take a breath, and try again. She eventually got it. Now, I do have to still supervise sometimes. That's part of teaching. These Proverbs 31 women taught their daughters It went on through generations. Pioneer women did it. They sewed things for their husbands. I remember the episodes of Little House on the Prairie where Ma made Paul a Christmas shirt. Mary made the same kind of shirt for Christmas, but Ma didn't want to spoil Mary's gift to Paul. So she shoved her shirt that she made Paul back up under the Christmas tree and hid it so Mary could give her gift to Paul and get all the excitement and, get the praise and things for it for her hard work. That was very humble of Ma to do that. Laura crocheted a shawl. Some more things. Mittens. Oh, I love those episodes. And then Mary, one time they fell on hard times and Mary went to work for the seamstress in Walnut Grove and started helping this woman sew things for the community, alter things for the community, and this little old woman paid her. Mary brought home her earnings. Laura brought home some of her earnings where she was helping people clean out stables and things like that. Ma did some things. She took her eggs to the general store to get egg, and they all put their money together when they fell on hard times. Yes, we're going to cover some more things concerning that in some videos coming up. But sewing has become a lost art now. You've got people don't even know how to hem a skirt if something comes unhemmed. Don't even know how to sew on a button. They just throw it in the giveaway pile or throw it in the trash. And I'm like, no. My kids have come to me, my boys have come to me with holes in their jeans and a button missing off of something, and I patch it. But the memories I have of being taught and sitting and watching my great-grandparents, my grandmother, my mother sew, I knew I wanted to learn how to sew. I knew I wanted to put my skills to use, especially when my children come along. I have sewn boys' long sleeve and short sleeve button-up dress shirts. Yes, I even found things to sew for my boys. I sewed them pajama bottoms, pajama shorts. I have sewn and still can sew and working on shirts, dress shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve, button-up shirts with the plackets and the collars and the cuffs for my dear husband and our boys. I made them all matching camouflage shirts one year for Christmas, and they wore them to Christmas dinner for a family get-together. I was so proud. I have sewn dresses for myself. So kind of like the Proverbs 31 woman, I shopped for the material. I chose what was best. I thought about my boys. I thought about my husband. I've even sewn some shirts for my daddy. I thought about what was best. I selected that fabric, the quality of the fabric, because I had my family in mind for their needs. Now, I haven't sewn any bed coverings except for Afghans and quilts. I don't sew the sheets. I have not got into that. We order those things on Amazon, but I selected what I wanted. I checked the quality. How long is this going to last? I used my imagination and I created something. Now, did some of those projects really just make me want to give up and throw in the towel? Oh, Lord, yes. I've only done it one time. Only one time have I given up on a project, and it was a little girl's dress, and it was honestly the directions in the pattern that was the problem. Even my mother could not understand it. So we just put it down. We honestly put it down. Maybe sometime in the future, I might take it to a shop and get someone to help me figure it out. When another grandbaby comes along, I might pick it back up and see what I can do with it. But that's the only time I've ever put a project down and not picked it back up and finished it. But my point is, she put the research, she put the thought, she put the time, the labor, and the love in it. I hate going to thrift stores and seeing people getting rid of all these Afghans, all these old things that I know was either hand sewn, hand stitched, hand crocheted, or hand knitted, because y'all, I'm going to tell y'all something. If someone loves you enough to give you a homemade gift, let me tell y'all, there's a lot of time and labor and thought that goes into this. I mean, a lot. Someone sat there and crocheted something while they were watching TV or sitting down, and just, there's a lot of time, y'all, that goes into these handmade projects. Why do they do it? They do it out of love. And they put their time and energy and thought for you into making you something and giving it to you as a gift. Think about that the next time someone brings you something or gives you something as a gift. That came from the heart. It took time, labor, and they were just thinking about you. That's what I do when I'm sewing something for someone else. And I give it to them as a gift. I have crocheted baby blankets and given them as a gift. When our first son, I had a baby shower. This lady that I worked with, at my baby shower, she gave me a crocheted baby blanket and booties. I still have those. We used them. I still have those. My granddaughter wags around her crocheted baby blanket still for nap time and bedtime. She loves it. Just know that it took a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of love, and it was given to you. The Proverbs 31 woman passed this down to her children because, y'all, they couldn't just go out and go and buy these things like we shop on the internet now, or the old days when we had to get out and go shopping for clothes and things at the department stores or Walmart. Okay? She was very thrifty. And I'm sure the quality of these clothes were passed down to all her children. I've saved clothes from one child and it got passed down to the next, and I'm doing that with grandchildren. Their clothes are going to be passed down to the next grandchild. And we're going to have to work on boys' clothes, okay? We'll have to buy all brand new boys' stuff. But I'm saving all that stuff. But she was very industrious, and she made sure her family had what they need, because here's another point. Scarlett fabric was not cheap. Okay? So she was industrious. She cared and made sure her family were kept warm in the winter, or they had clothes to wear and coverings. I hope y'all have enjoyed this part of looking into her. There's more to come, trust me, and I'll see you in the next video.